chain reaction. Apologize for the soft focus. It's a little humid up here, so it's kind of foggy, real foggy last night. Oops. But it's clearing up for now. Had a little strong rain about an hour ago, and there's a little lull, I think, until early tomorrow morning. Alright, let me stand by for the net. KK6Q from N4DLA. Also, a good signal out of you, Fred.
Alright, good evening everyone, this is Jim, K6SOE, your net control for tonight's ATV net. And it's going to be a little easier tonight without 2 meters in the way. That for all of you that don't know, haven't read your email, that we lost the 2 meter receive antenna yesterday, and that was really before the wind started blowing, so, but who knows, there's up to 100-mile-an-hour weather up on the hilltop. So I might, weather permitting, go take a look at it tomorrow, see if I can't put the repeater on one antenna. So anyway, that's the announcement I've got tonight. Are there any others or any priority traffic? We'll okay, seeing none, I guess everybody who's watching ATV knows how to watch it. That I've got KC6 GPW and 3 or 4 other people watching on the stream, and there might be a couple of people watching on YouTube. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure why my signal's so washed out on whereby there. I haven't had a chance to throw an attenuator in the line, but anyway, enough of this. Let's go see how Fred's doing. See whether he's grown flippers yet or not. WB6ASU, K6SOE with the ATV net.
Yeah, K6SOE, Jim. IB6ASU, stuck in a swampo or Lake Campo or whatever you want to call it. Hey, UHF CX is tied to 2 meter CX, I believe. I don't happen to have the frequency in front of me for UHF CX, but if you transmit it on that, you could receive on 06 because it would work. That's what I do when I have trouble with one of my transmitters, is I just transmit on one band and you can receive it on both the output bands. So I don't know what the UHF is for CX. But anyway. And if that's the only broken antenna from the last windstorms, I've been lucky antenna-wise. Everything is, quote, put up professionally. That's a used to be professionally. I don't do antennas anymore. But I lost a couple of sections of roof next door on my big long barn. One of them was right over the 914 Porsches. So I had to run over there and put tarps over all the... There's 4, 5 cars in there. And a whole bunch of parts. And it only blew off over where the cars were parked, so no big deal. They'll handle a little water. They got tarps over them now, so they're okay. But then the other section, down where Ron's got a lot of his stuff stored, that lost another 12-foot by 8-foot section. So, and boy, the hilltop is getting hit big for some reason. Channel 3. Videos coming and going. I don't know what that is. Alright, anyway, what's the UHF frequency? I'll write it down, I'll have it. Maybe I can program it into one of my radios, and then we could actually have 2 meter, you know, go in on UHF and come out on 2. That'll work. Works on my box. I think they're very similar. Alright, Jim. IB6 ASU in windy, wet Acampo.
All right, Fred, thanks for checking in. And yeah, I would be able to do that, use the UHF box. But the UHF box is using the 2 meter antenna for receive also. So I can get into the 2 meter machine, but it takes about a kilowatt ERP. And it's noisy. So I know that it's definitely an issue. So, all right, let's see if Chris is around tonight. W6ATV. Okay, no Chris. Let's go over to Matthew, N4DLA.
Okay. K6SOE from N4DLA. See, am I getting into here? That's a little noisy. ATV net. trying to get on the UHF repeater. But anyway, anybody trying to listen to the 2-meter repeater, it has no receive capability of being linked to the UHF repeater at this time, so no bueno. N4DLA going back to the digital amateur television net, which is live on the 1.2 gigahertz amateur television repeater on Mount Diablo. Okay, so that didn't work. Sorry for the soft focus picture. It's a little humid in here, but I've got the raincoat on. Hopefully it's not raining in here. I'd have an umbrella. But so far, all intact here at N4DLA Orinda Studios. Got about an inch of rain since last night, and I had 5 inches of rain on New Year's Eve. So don't need any outdoor irrigation right now. Great picture from you, Jim, as well as WB6ASU and the kitty cats, and the K6SOE's kitty cat, WB6ASU, and Owen KK6Q is also on. Great signal out of him when the leaves are away. Apparently maybe this storm will get rid of some trees that are blocking his signal. And so really the repeater is held up well, at least this repeater, thank goodness. Great work by you guys and the tower climbers to secure everything with all the weather mayhem going on. So it's not really much of an HD picture if it's all foggy. But hopefully we'll get everything put back together. And thank you for our club MDARC volunteers. This on the first digital amateur television net of 2023. And Jim, I'd emailed you about last week's net where you said I wasn't there, and I was there. So I don't know what's going on. But anyway, back to you, Jim. Thanks for running the net. Happy New Year, everybody. K6SOE from N4DLA.
Okay. All right, Matthew, thanks for checking in. And somewhere you need to get a piece of string and secure that antenna to keep it from swiveling or something there. So, all right, thanks for checking in. Good solid signal from you tonight. And let's see. I'm going to keep trying this guy until he shows up. W6DTV, John. All right, no John. So I'll give this guy a second to push his button. Let's go over to Stan, NJ6E. Let's go over to Stan, NJ6E.
Yeah, okay, Jim and Annette. I'm also on the 220 input. I'm not sure if I'm hearing myself here. No. So that's not working, but it looks like the 440 interconnect is working. Anyway, yeah, the 220 repeater is working, but it's not interconnected with the 2-meter repeater tonight. So much for that idea. I guess I could have tried the UHF input, since it's as sensitive as it used to be. It's just that I can't hear the UHF output, but that doesn't really matter. And I think ND6H is doing the UHF input, so when you get around to him, you'll probably hear him on that. So looks like it's 43 degrees up here in Sonoma, and no precipitation at the moment, and I guess we're going to have some clear weather for the better part of a day before everything starts up again. No significant damage in my QTH, and otherwise looks pretty rough in other areas around the Bay Area. That pier in Santa Cruz was kind of interesting, but the buildings at the end of the pier where the pier no longer exists. So let's see. Not too much else to report. Did watch the BATC QO100 net today, but nothing too much of interest to what we'd be interested over here. So I will just leave it at that and send it back to Net and J6E stand in Sonoma.
Okay, Stan. Thank you for checking in tonight, and yeah, the intertie between 220 and 2 meters, I'm not sure where it isn't, where it's gone sideways, because it usually does something automatically. So, yeah, the 220 machine is standalone now on its own antenna. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Like I say, the UHF input is sharing the 2 meter antenna. So it's just as numb. So, anyway, that's the rest of the news there. Let's see if this guy's around. N6GKJ. Ron. All right, let's go over to Concord and check in with John, ND6H. I saw him tuning up earlier. And here's my other cohort, Spot. And here's my floor director, Tiger. He's decided to take up residency on the vector scope, so that's the new scenario there. So let's go to John, ND6H.
Good evening, Jim and Annette. Back from wonderful, warm Florida into cold and wet California. But at least I did manage to get back here. Did quite a bit of FT8 down there in Florida and tried some SSB stuff, and no adverse effects from the hurricane going through as far as power line interference or anything, so I got lucky there. And had almost 2 inches of rain in the last 24 hours here in Concord, so that's been kind of special. And I did notice some trees down on some of the streets around here. I think I saw the highest wind gust for us here in Concord at this location was 36 miles an hour. So that wasn't too bad. I know that some other places in the Bay Area had a lot higher than that. And anyways, so I'm here for a little over a month, and I'm going to go back to Florida and deal with a generator install project there. So I will be around for a little while anyways. Jim, thanks for doing the net. John, Concord, ND6H.
All right, John. Good signal from you tonight. Good video, good audio. And yeah, getting the generator put in, that's cool. Have an automatic transfer and all those neat things. So, all right. This guy was tuning up earlier. Let's go over to Kevin, KK6JPN.
See if I can get the sound muted. Yep. Good evening all. KK6JPN. In wet and windy Amador County. We're surviving moderately well. I have to run around and keep turning on sump pumps and sweeping leaves and putting things back that got blown down and so on, but other than that we're doing okay. Better than the sun anyhow. Down in Moraga he had a huge tree come down across his driveway. They couldn't get out, so that was a challenge for him. His tractor was barely big enough to push what he'd managed to leave behind after cutting some bits off, be able to push it off of the driveway. Not a lot going on here, a couple of little projects running actually. The Drake is still on the bench. Turns out one of the output tubes was pretty bad shape. I dug out the tube testers and found that out. I've got a whole stack of different tube testers here, but it reminded me of a project which I'd started many moons ago, and thought, you know what, it doesn't need a lot just to make it functional, so I revived this one little project. One of the lesser, in fact this one, I have two Knight 600 model tube testers, which are not that great. The tube tester I tried the Drake tube in as a Western Digital 15750 or something. It's a fairly reasonable tube tester. But anyhow, I've also got an extra Knight 600 which was in pretty bad condition, and it doesn't have a meter and various other problems. So I'd started modifying it by adding connectors to it so that I can hook it into my semiconductor curve tracer. I have a Tektronix semiconductor curve tracer. That way I can do full curves and everything. So let's see. So what I'm doing with it is I've added a row of, this camera seems to break up pretty badly. I've added a row of connectors, and so in one position of the switch, two positions of the switch connect the filament still, and then the bottom position will be, it'll connect to the jacks at the bottom there, and the three that I need, the grid, the anode and the cathode, will be flying leads over to the curve tracer. Incidentally, I've got this other little tube tester here on the that I happen to pull out just to see whether it works. It doesn't really test tubes, I don't think. All it does is see whether there's a filament and a grid, I think. It doesn't do much else. It's very old and probably something that collectors will want, but not much use to me. So that's it. Working on the Knight 600 and making it into a curve tracer. Go back to a camera here. That's about it. So back up to you. KK6 JPN in Sutter Creek. Where's the test card? There we go. That tells me when.
Okay, Kevin, thank you for checking in, and yeah, Fred probably has one or two of those tube testers himself, so I know he's got a big B&K that will do anything. Let's see. Let me give this guy a call, see if he's got his transmitter hooked up tonight. Mike, W6MEW. Okay, no Mike. Let's go over to KK6Q Owen in Walnut Creek. Well, he was out there before the net. Maybe he's just interrupted for a minute. We'll get back to him here soon, I hope. All right. Let's see. I guess it's time for me to check in. I'm seeing something weird here, that the bottom half of my picture is sort of gone. I don't know what it is here. Give that a go. Alright, that might be a little better. Alright, I got Tigger here next to me. I don't know, if you can purr loud enough, maybe you can be heard. Alright, let's go over to Jerry, KB6T. He's out here tonight. Alright. Let's see. How about K6VT, Cal? Alright, that's the list as I have it. Let's see if there's any missed, late, or other check-ins. And we'll see if there's any other video traffic for the net tonight. All right. I bet a nickel that it's Owen in Walnut Creek. Give it another try.
No bueno.
Well, I know I saw Owen in there before the net. His picture looked perfect. So we'll give him an early check-in. How about that? So. All right. I guess the next thing I need to do here is try and break things and bring in our Whereby audience tonight. The repeater still tells time, it still transmits, it just doesn't receive. So, alright, let me switch a few switches here, we'll get a few people up here on the repeater from Whereby. P6SOE, stand by.
Oops. I didn't.
Okay, now
So I get malfunction.
Did it go away again? Went away again. Yep.
I guess let's get it.
Alright. Let's see
Oh,
if
yeah,
we can
yeah,
make this happen here. Matheson, it's your turn. Go ahead. KG6DZB.
Pretty soon I'm going to have to put a ponytail up just like Jim. Good Lord. Need a haircut.
Alright.
I don't have the luxury anymore.
Oh, that's funny, Echo. That's funny, Echo.
Easier to take care
I shouldn't.
I'm not hearing an echo.
We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming out of
Yeah,
Rough.